I think that people just couldn't believe what I was doing and what I was getting other people to do. And then people were really talking about it a lot in a good way. So they wanted to put it down because it was a competition for them.
Welcome to Dubai and welcome to the Kelly Woman podcast, Scott. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
My pleasure. So I know a little bit about you, but maybe my audience doesn't. So why don't you give us a little bit of a backstory? Maybe how come you're in Dubai and a little bit about your business and what you do?
Okay, well, I'm on holiday in Dubai. I haven't come here for anything else. I've been dragged from the poolside to come and speak to you. So.
I'm very privileged.
No, I'm grateful. So thank you for having me. I run a program called the Six Pack Revolution, which is an online fitness, nutrition and personal development program.
Okay.
It started back in 2015, December.
Okay.
Where I was picking up the kids from school on a very rare occasion, and I was looking at all the other parents and
check them out.
Yeah, because usually the wife done all that, and I was looking at everyone because it's like I don't really get lots of parents in one place. I was always at work, so it's kind of a bit of a phenomenon for me.
Yeah, and
I realised that they were overweight, poisoned looking. My wife hates it when I talk about this bit. Don't let anyone from the school hear you say this, clearly hadn't looked after themselves, and then kids were running out to their role models, and I thought, that's not very good, is it?
Yeah.
And I realised then at that point I was one of them. So I decided in the January as my New Year's resolution to get a six-pack. I chose a visual goal because I wanted something I like visualisation. I'm very into all of that.
Yeah.
So I thought if I can't lose a few pounds, there's no point in that. So let's actually visualise something and go for it.
Yeah.
36 other people wanted to join me when I started blogging it on Facebook. And I got quite a lot of them to the finish line. I think it was 19 to the finish line because I always said, I'm not messing around here. I'm going to be strict. And back then it was very bland, basic food. Nothing was like it is now. I just was being strict with myself. And I managed to realize I had a flair for keeping people engaged for a long period of time and motivating them and keeping them going. The results that people saw from that, there was like, how did that even happen?
And that was all within the space of, what is it?
90 days.
90 days, yeah.
And I used 90 days then because that was kind of the time that everyone would go, and that was like, you need to do a 3-month thing. Everyone picks 90 days or 3 months or 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And to cut a long story short, people were begging me to do another one. I did another one, and it was 120 people joined that one. And now it must be at about 100,000 people in 71 countries.
Amazing. Congratulations.
And changing and saving lives by the day.
Very good. Well, congratulations. So let's rewind back to that part. Did you have a fitness background or?
No, I turned this around when I was 42. I'm 50 this year. And that's one of the most surreal things is that I did do karate. I was a karate instructor since in my 20s. But it was in the past, all of that, I understood about the body and everything. I just knew I had to do something. And I wanted to, be a bit more of a cool dad rather than the dad bod dad. Nothing wrong with dad bods, obviously. But, the visual change is a fraction of what you gain.
Yeah.
When you actually realize how a human body should feel, then you can it's quite addictive to want to feel good. And I teach everybody then how to keep their results and still party twice a week as well. So I found the key to the best of both worlds, I think.
So that first group, you think about starting a business, is that what you did it yourself, or did these people join you for free the first 36?
Yeah. The first year. The second one wasn't a business either. It was only after the second one that I realized I had this, because the results were just mind blowing, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen them, but they're out of this. People still don't believe them. They accuse me of all sorts, chopping heads off and putting them on other bodies. And
really,
they're all compliments, obviously. But people
actually say that it's not.
Yeah, they say that's not real. That's been photoshopped or else. But obviously, I haven't got tens of thousands of people all over the world lying for me.
Yeah.
But no, it's quite impressive, yeah.
Okay, so first one you did free, second one, and then what point did you go, do you know what, this is a business?
After the second one.
Yeah.
So I then that was in the September, then the January was the first one that was actually I charged for.
Yeah, and how many people did you have on that one?
370, I think it was.
Wow.
And then it went to 680, and then it went into the thousands, into the twos. Right now, we've got 8,500 people on it right this minute.
And is it set times? Or can anyone join at any time?
No, we run 6 waves a year because we're live with you all day, every day. From before you start till after you finish. You ask a question, it's answered in minutes. We have to run it in waves. So that's probably why the program is quite so successful as well, because we are literally walk by your side all day, every day. So we run 6 a year: January, March, May, July, September, October.
Yeah.
And it's quite a thing. It's become quite a monster.
I can imagine. And so let's break it down, the whole sort of 12 weeks. As much as everyone would love to get abs, like
it's now 75 days now. So we get better results now in 10 weeks and 5 days.
Oh, wow. Oh, and quite specific in that. So break it down a little bit in terms of, because I think people look at this and go, there's no way I'd be able to get a 6-pack, or, how can we do it? It's not just exercise, it's food. So what are some of the sweet spots for you that bring it together, that make it so unique, that you get the results? So
90% of your results are coming from the food. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of food. Most people will be eating more than they did before, which people like, how's that even possible? And they see the dress sizes come off. So you were just saying a bit 6-pack. It's called the 6-pack revolution because it came from me getting a 6-pack, and the brand's too big now for it to be changed.
Yeah.
I'm sure we lose people because they look at it and go, well, that's not for me.
Yeah.
But our biggest demographic is 30 to 60-year-old men and women.
Yeah.
We go from a size 18 dress to a 10 in one wave of the program. No saggy skin, because I feed them to their physique rather than starve them to the physique. And I think that's what makes the difference. Most programs out there are a fitness program with a bit of nutritional advice.
Yeah.
This is a nutritional program with fitness, mindset, where we change your relationship with food, with drink, with yourself, so that you have that tool, as you say, afterwards to... Yeah. I hand everyone the key to happiness, is what I say. Give them their power back. Whether they use it or not afterwards, or how often they use it, is down to them, obviously.
Yeah. What do you find the results are? You said people do manage to keep it off. Is there stats on how many people manage to maintain their physique after they've gone through?
To get stats on knowing who's still doing it is quite difficult, because you wouldn't know. But I get lots and lots of messages and really beautiful messages telling me that, we're still in the same place we were before, like as in we've left, we haven't gone backwards.
Yeah.
We get about 70-80% of the participants to the finish line, which is huge. On a program that's 75 days, no cheat days. So it's 7 days a week for 75 days, where we rewire your body, your mind. And then after that, you can play the best of both worlds. But you've just got to invest that little bit of time to build a machine that can do that.
What have been some of the challenges then you've found as you've kind of grown the business? Because it's actually grown pretty fast. If you're saying like every time you doubled the amount of participants on it, what were some of the challenges that came with that?
New Year's Eve just gone, we had an article from an actress. She's an actress, a journalist, an author. She created Danger Mouse. Do you remember Danger Mouse?
Yes, I do.
Emma Kennedy. She writes her own piece in The Guardian, unbeknown to myself.
Yeah.
And the whole world just kicked off. We couldn't cope. The emails that were coming in, there was four of us on the emails, including me, trying to get through them. And we was answering like one, and 10 more were coming in. We just couldn't. I picked up through my phone so many times. My wife's going, "You're all right?" I went, "Yeah." I just picked the phone back up, carry on. And I had to shut doors and turn hundreds of people away. But I didn't want to not deliver the program in its entirety. So I went, okay, we got to stop, because this is not stopping.
Yeah.
And most of those went on to the March wave anyway, I think. So it was a challenge to deal with that, because
just the influx of inquiries coming in. And
no, to have the structure there, because I had the structure there to grow way more than we were doing.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't seeing this one coming. And even if I knew she was going to put it out there, I would never expected what happened.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay, this has gone bigger now than I was expecting could even be possible in 2 days. That was. The company over doubled in 2 days. So I had to restructure everything, which I've done now, and we can cope again.
What have been some of the other then good marketing strategies that have worked for you? I guess social media is quite plays a big part in what you do, because people see the results on that. What else has
we're
worked?
very, very lucky that organically we grow very quickly. Yeah. Because if someone sees a friend, a family member, that it's so blatantly obvious that it's a wow. It's not just, oh, you did all right. It's what?
And it's user-generated content as well, so they're producing the content for you. So
they're sharing
advertising
it everywhere.
They
can't stop sharing it. They're peacocking everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's great. So it organically grows really well.
Yeah.
But we do Facebook ads and stuff, and we do use social media.
Yeah.
I've had some of my greatest things are from celebrities. Like we've had a lot of celebrities on the program.
Yeah. I
don't know if your listeners would. I don't know how many people are listening to this, but just to give you an idea, Sarah Cox, Rylan Clark, Bobby Norris, Emma Kennedy, quite a few people from the line of duty have done it.
Yeah.
Alex Scott, who's the England football lady. Denise Van Outen, Carol Vorderman. Yeah, loads. So that gives me loads of exposure as well.
That's not you doing it. That's them being part of the program. And then, do you do one-to-one sessions with any of those, or it's all? Yeah.
So I'm going to sound like a bit of a wally now, but the only people I actually train one-on-one physically next to them would be usually a celebrity, because of what that's going to obviously do for the business.
Yeah.
And it's nice for me to meet these people and get the exposure in we've been in every magazine, every newspaper, every online, it's everywhere.
Right.
Been on Loose Women 3 times in 2 years, and Steph's Pack Lunch and all sorts of stuff. So I kind of do that for the celebrities. I'm not really, the way, for business wise, I can reach so many more people doing it online that way. Yeah. I'd never have reached 100,000 people by just standing next to them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Let's talk a little bit about the personal brand piece, because you have the business, but you have your brand. Have you actively been or consciously been trying to grow that, as in, doing podcasts and radio, or is it just something that's come quite organically and you see the benefits in doing what you're doing?
Everyone that works for the Six Pack Revolution has come from the Six Pack Revolution program.
Okay.
So every coach I've got an amazing team of experts that are on my, stand behind me, if you like, virtually. So I've got a doctor of chiropractic, a doctor of biochemistry, a GP, a psychotherapist, psychologist, and my wife's a nutritionist that specializes in the application to physical activity. So I've got these very strong people behind me, although I kind of know most of it myself anyway, obviously, because I've worked from the ground up with it all.
Yeah.
So everyone who's on Six Pack comes from the program. Even the web developer, the accountant, everyone's come from it. So it's kind of
interesting.
So the DNA is in there.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's kind of, I think, really cool.
Yeah. Then you get asked to go and do lots of things, like your collaborations, and then that's your space.
What I do now, for example, I've got 8,500 people on the program now.
Yeah.
So I'll put in a post saying, look, and this is all true. Over the years, I've had so many people come to me and ask me to be on their podcast, and they wish they'd asked years ago, but they haven't built up the courage to do so. So let me just tell you all now, the answer is yes. And then I get loads of people saying, can you come on my podcast? Can you come on my podcast? So, for example, that's one way of...
And how have you found that? It's really interesting. So a lot of people are scared to ask. So you find then that's just increased the reach of your potential clients that want to join the program. I mean, it's great.
And it's just, as you say, am I actively doing that? I suppose I am, but it kind of fell in my lap, if you know what I mean. So it seemed like a normal, easy thing to do. Yeah.
Anything else you're doing?
And sometimes I'll get the part, if we've got certain things going on within to advertise it. Yeah. I'll go into my 8,500 people, for example, and I'll run a competition if they share this, and they can win some six-pack stuff or whatever else.
Nice.
So little bits and bobs like that are the easy things to do. We're working with Yale.com for SEO and various advertising as well. And social media, again, I've got a social media company that do bits and bobs. Yeah. I'm not the best at social media myself. Yeah. I wish I was one of these people that could just bang out these amazing videos on a phone, cut it all and do all this stuff. My son's better than me. He's only 9. I wish I could do all that stuff really easy.
Yeah, I think the majority of people who do that, they have a team.
Yeah, probably.
Because it is just...
they do come round and I do filming with them and then they cut it all out. But that needs to be done almost every day.
Yeah.
And this is like every 3 months I do a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy.
Yeah. I do a month. Every month I hired a videographer and we'll do 10, 15 pieces of content.
Got it.
So then it's done for the month, but at least then it's kind of real time.
Yes.
And just batching, it's just so much easier. Otherwise, it just
Isn't it a
doesn't...
strange world that
we live in, that's
weird,
how it
isn't
happens.
it?
Yeah, but I think back to...
It's all about content. That's all it is.
But then I think so I'm 20 years in Dubai, actually. And when I first started my business, there was fax machines. And, I think trying to start a business where you really relied on sending a fax press release.
I know.
And now you can just start a business, you put it on social media and someone can see you and you can do a collaboration and more people see you. And
it's easy now to advertise. Back in the day, we show our age now. I mean, I'm obviously older than you, but Yellow Advertiser, I think it was called. The
Yellow Pages, no?
You put an advert in the back of the local newspaper.
Oh, yes,
hoping someone local might look at it.
Yeah.
The chances, but now you can reach millions, like a click of a button.
Yeah, it's so true. But also with that, I think then people would then argue, well, it's so much more competitive now. And I think in a space that you're in, fitness, nutrition, it is super competitive.
Oh, crikey. It's the most saturated market. I can't believe I found something unique that outperforms everyone else in this market. And I kind of stumbled on it.
Yeah. But that again has come from your personal journey. So it's real, it's authentic in the personal brand piece.
Yeah.
And then people resonate and can connect with that as well. What are some of the sort of challenges you face, though, with it being in such a saturated market? Like, what are some of do people compare or what are some of the...
Right at the beginning, it was backstabby.
Oh, really?
That's a good way of putting it.
Do you think that was because of the industry or because it's so competitive?
I think that people just couldn't believe what I was doing and what I was getting other people to do. And then people were really talking about it a lot in a good way. So they wanted to put it down because it was a competition for them. I think it was the competition side. Mm. Yeah. But now you look silly if you try and put it down. So I think people have worked that out now. You can't put that down because it's gone too well.
Yeah. What are some of the myths in the fitness world that you would love to debunk in what you do? I mean, I know there's quite a few, but...
I'll give you a couple. I did a video which was where everyone went mad on me, like attack, called Calorie Deficit Doesn't Work.
Okay.
But if they'd listened to what I'd said, they would have realized what I was trying to say. So the two words calorie and deficit, because every time you put on TikTok or the Instagram, all they talk about is calorie deficit. Yeah. Calories in, calories out, then you lose weight.
Absolutely.
And I'm quite well aware of the laws of thermodynamics. I'm not stupid. But I know people that will not eat all day. Let's say they're going to try and hit 1,800 calories. Mm-hmm. They'll wait till the evening and have a McDonald's with a half a litre of Coke, an apple pie and a bag of Maltesers. That's not going to work.
Because they're going, it's underneath the 1,800.
Correct. Depends what you call work means though, right? Because if you think they're just looking on a scale and losing some muscle and your hair falling out, there's also gets a little bit of weight off and your organs about to pack up. But the scale says something, then, how about, so I say an educated calorie deficit will work, but calorie deficit itself is dangerous, if you ask me.
So what's an educated calorie deficit?
I don't even like to talk about the calorie side of things.
Okay.
How about we build a machine that works at its optimum? Balanced plate of food, balanced throughout the day with hydration. When you build a machine that works at its optimum, it will burn fuel efficiently, which is fat. And also, and build muscle mass, your hair, your skin, the whites of your eyes, your teeth, your nails all become more radiant rather than fall out and become brittle and go the other way. Yeah. You can eat more delicious food, believe it or not, but you just don't realize it at the moment because you think, you have to have a birdseed salad to get, which you don't. Yeah. You've got to invest a bit of time in yourself, as I said earlier. So that otherwise, what are you doing? If you're spending all your time eating badly, it's going to go wrong for you, isn't it? You need to find a balance somewhere. But you kind of need to repair the damage that you've done already, I think, first.
So is it possible to repair the damage?
Yeah. Yeah, it's never too late. Okay. Anyone who ever said it's too late didn't do the six-pack revolution.
Ah. What other myths have you got?
So the other one is intermittent fasting.
I hear loads of people talking about it.
Which is, it's just calorie deficit. You just can't eat as much because you're keeping it. But they try to tell you it's because of autophagy. Do you know what autophagy is?
No idea.
So autophagy is the regeneration of your cells. So they say that if you fast, then you kill off the bad cells and rejuvenate your new cells and stuff, which is true. But you have to fast for 2 to 3 days for autophagy really to kick in.
Rather than 12 hours or 16 hours.
So you're sitting, it doesn't even achieve autophagy. So that's just a myth. And the truth is as well, is that if you eat the way you do on the Six Pack Revolution, which is balanced throughout the day, the right foods, that also creates autophagy. So why starve yourself for 3 days when you can eat in abundance for 3 days and achieve exactly the same thing?
Very good. One more myth, because I think there's loads in the industry.
If you do a lot of exercise, you're going to lose weight or fat. Exercise is really for muscle tone, bone density, an investment in your future, your posture, and your anxiety. The amount of exercise you have to do to actually lose a lot of fat, not many people are going to be doing much of that. It's all about the food. Do them both and you win.
And that, you would say, is that the sort of, not the secret, but the DNA to the Six Pack Revolution is do them both, the fitness and the food, and it comes together.
Well, I say to people, if you want to look good and feel great and be full of energy, then eat well and move around a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want a nice, strong mind, feed your mind with personal development. If you want to be a superhero, do all three.
Yeah, I love it. Taking a few of the boxes. The fitness thing is, I was later to the game with the fitness, but it's interesting you say the word about posture. And I look back at the before and after. I say before and after, but one of like, say, 3 years ago, maybe just pre-COVID, and my posture, like, I'm at an angle.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like I hold myself. Now I
weight train. You can feel yourself doing it, can't you? Sometimes you really,
and connect with the core. Yeah. And you don't even need to be working out, but I can really feel it.
I remember in the car, I used to always be like hunched over, and now I feel and then when I first started to put my posture right, it used to ache. Yeah. Now I ache the other way, so now I'm
much more conscious.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can know what I'm doing. Yeah. And posture is huge. Like, people don't realize that as you get older, you've got to know what you're doing.
Well, I think certainly for women, osteoporosis, having a strong body. Because I think a myth that a lot of my friends have said to me is, I don't like working out because it makes me bulky.
You can't get bulky.
And I
wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
I want to get bulkier. I wish it was easy, especially for ladies.
Yeah. But it's so important, though, to lift weights or do some sort of strength training for muscle.
I would say that's more, if you was going to choose one style of training, weights is what you should do, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
For sure. That's going to keep you healthier, stronger into your old age. Things like yoga and all that are great as well.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you was going to pick one thing, I'd say lift weights.
One exercise, what was there? 1 or 2 exercises that are your go-to?
I'm a bit of a battle rope maniac.
Really?
So I like the battle ropes, yeah.
I never do them. They're there in the gym. Yeah, I never do them.
They're hard though. But once you get going with them, you can do it. But
what would be your advice? Like a 30-second, maybe that's way too long. I don't know, 10 seconds? Like how
start with 10. If you've never done them before, start with 10. And then build yourself up, I would say. And the battle rope's a great piece of equipment.
And is that because it's like the shoulders, the arms, or full body?
It's a full body, really, because you've got the resistance of the rope and the whip coming back through you, and they're heavy. Yeah, it's like whipping weights.
Yeah.
But they're quite fun as well, because it's kind of, can be quite boring doing things like just dumbbell curl or running on a treadmill or something like that. So they're good fun. You feel a bit Rocky Balboa when you've got a rope in your hand. I am going to do it, and I'm going to tag you in an Instagram picture. I want to see it. It is a nice little bit of accountability. What has been your best? Have you got a success story that you absolutely love? Or, I'm sure you've had loads, but is there one that you can think of? Thousands and thousands. But there is one thing that always comes to mind when I actually got sent a card. Not many people write cards anymore, do they? They really don't. No. I got sent a card and it said, I don't know how to thank you for giving my children their mummy back. Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a pretty special time. Because the whole piece, and you've brought that up a couple of times about, it's the future of, that's where it started from, the children running out to their role models. But, children and educating them, that's something that, you're equally as passionate about as the mums and the dads, that is encouraging children to exercise as well. Yeah, I wish I could get my little boy to do a bit more and eat better. I'm working on it. Yeah. My daughter's great. She does well, and my 2-year-old's just being a 2-year-old at the moment. But I hope they're watching, and they're taking it in somehow.
Yeah. Ask a little quick fire questions.
Okay.
Here I have cards from Esther Perel's box, who I absolutely love this gift. It's a box of questions that spark conversation.
Okay.
So this is something new that I've introduced to the podcast, where I ask a couple of these. You have no idea what they are, but they're interesting questions, and let's see where it goes.
So I just pick one?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's pick the top one. The most unexpected compliment I've ever received. I feel like I probably told you that just now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's hard to beat the one I said about the mum. The most unexpected compliment I've ever received. Oh, crikey. I'm trying to think.
Do you want to pick another one?
Yeah, I will, because I just feel like I told you.
Yeah. And that was a lovely story.
Yeah, that was probably my most unexpected.
Yeah.
If I could see into the future, I would want to know that I helped you when you needed me.
Very good. I like it. Let's do another one.
I'm particularly stubborn about, many people will tell you this, not allowing people to use excuses to not fulfill their potential.
Do you want an example of that?
Oh, I get people all the time. I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too hard. When did we decide that hard was a bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think we all should decide hard is a good thing. Because if you think about it, you only ever learn anything when you're struggling. We can sit in a jacuzzi drinking champagne, play on the beach with the kids like I've been doing this week, and that's great. I want to do more of that. But you learn nothing. You only learn when the chips are down. And if you think about all the things that you've become, it's all because of overcoming the obstacles.
Yeah.
So stop making excuses and start to enjoy them. See them as a challenge rather than a problem.
You talked about personal development. Have you got a book recommendation? Is there a book that's changed you, or a course that you've done that's kind of really been impactful?
The book that changed my life, which I recommend to a lot of people, and it changes a lot of other people's lives, is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. You'll know The Secret.
Yeah,
there's not many people that don't.
Yeah.
I also get a lot of bad press from recommending The Secret. People telling me that I'm dangerous and I'm this, I'm that. And people read things so differently, don't they?
Or how they interpret it.
And they interpret it so differently. But it changed my life. I was in a bad place, and I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for The Secret. I literally live by it all day, every day. And I try and give people the basics of it. The reason I like that book, because there's lots of personal development books, lots of law of attraction books. That one I find is quite simple. It just tells you kind of focus on what you want and not on what you don't want, which is quite simple. But I think a lot of people think it's all like rah-rah and so. But do you know about the reticular activating system?
Yeah.
So shall I tell you?
Go for it. I'm
going to do a very basic version here, so it's really easy to understand. So our brain can't absorb all the information that's coming to it. There is millions of information coming all day, every day. So what we have to do is we have to filter it out, so you just can possibly cope otherwise. So the brain does that for you. And I like to give a couple of examples. So if you was in the car park and you reversed into somebody, and you've got out of the car and they're in your face and it's all kicking off, you don't know what's going on around you anymore. Your system has zoned in on that one thing. Yeah. Or another example would be, have you ever been, I know this is quite a common question for lots of people, have you ever been and bought a car and you see that car all the time?
Yeah, it's true.
Let's call it a blue BMW, right? And all of a sudden there's blue BMWs everywhere. They were always there. So, but your reticular activating system filtered them out because you wasn't really interested. It wasn't on that frequency, if you like. Yeah. All of a sudden, you can see them all. So the only way I see The Secret is that we are now trying to focus on the things that we want. So those opportunities that are all there already, we can see them.
A little bit more highlighted.
Yeah. If we keep focusing on what we don't want, we're going to see all the things and miss all the opportunities that we do want, and see all the bad things that we don't want. It's like if you was riding a slalom through the trees, they look at the path. If you've got to stop looking at the trees, you're going to crash into them otherwise, So that's why I try and how I push into the program. It's not a part of the program, the book itself. It's just a recommendation. And I say, or choose another. Yeah. Just read something that's going to be positive type thing.
Mine was The Magic of Thinking Big, the first book in personal development that I ever read. And
I think I might have read that.
yeah, it's really good.
I do mine on audio.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Love
easier,
it. Got
it?
the subscription and yeah, it's so good. How can people find you? And if they want to know more about the Six Pack Revolution, what's the social handles? What can you tell us about?
Okay, so our social media handles are at the Six Pack Revolution. The website is thesixpackrevolution.com.
Yeah.
We also do in Dubai meal prep, so you don't even have to cook the meals, which the UK would be really happy with, and the USA would be really happy with. But because this is a much smaller community, we have meal prep here.
Very good.
With Pop Dubai.
Yeah.
And you can look at them on popdubai.ae. And so you don't even have to do that bit. All of us in the UK, we have to cook all our food. You can have it delivered to the door. It's a bit of a thing over here, isn't it? That you just don't do anything other than have it delivered.
I like everything gets delivered, even your petrol.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
How? Well, they come get your car and drive off and bring it back?
No, there's a mobile server. Just come and fill you up.
Oh my God. Wow.
Pretty much everything.
We're like a third world country. So yeah, with Six Pack, you get everything's done from home if you want it. You can obviously do it in the gym if you want, but you can do everything from home in the way of the exercise, the community, the meal prep, and all the support. Everything's done for you. So just very Dubai-like. By the sounds of it.
I'm going to tag you in the battle rope picture.
Okay.
But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I've really loved getting to know you, the story behind it, which I'd read, but just hearing it from you, it's amazing. So thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Have a fab holiday.
Nice to meet you. You too. Bye.